I watched him. He was open at times. Now, I didn't watch him on every play, but from what I saw on different times of the game, I was trying to pay attention if they would throw it to him, and he was open, and they didn't throw it to him.
I thought one of the things that Kenny Pickett said that you played at the end of your sportscast, where he said different guys on different games are going to have big games, and it depends on what the defense is throwing at you, depends on kind of the opponent, basically. I didn't think that passed muster when it came to explaining away Pickens' relative irrelevance in their game plan, because that was a Falcons team that came into the game near the bottom of the NFL in pass defense, just as bad as the Steelers, if not a little bit worse. All the more reason to try to feed the ball to your best playmaker. I think it's a combination of things. I think Canada needs to make sure he schemes up some stuff that gets Pickens looks, favorable looks early in the game. I also think Kenny Pickett needs to trust him a little bit more. I think he trusts him a reasonable amount already, but it needs to be even more. And then I think the other thing that set George Pickens off, besides the fact that the game was played 70 miles from where he played his college ball, Georgia had just been in there the night before to win the SEC title and everything else, I think what bothered George Pickens a lot was that they were throwing it to Deontay Johnson, and he wasn't making plays. That outburst that we've seen the clip of where he's ripping his helmet off, he's yelling, that's right after Johnson almost fumbles away the game late, Richie. So I think it's partly the fact that they weren't throwing him the ball at the expense or towards the benefit of a guy who wasn't doing much with it.
This is my problem, and you said it at the beginning of your statement there. You have to scheme up things for a guy like him. Stephon Diggs never really gets shut down. A.J. Brown doesn't. DeAndre Hopkins doesn't. Even T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. These guys get 10 targets a game. You got to throw him your ball. He's probably your best weapon.
Well, I think one of the problems is right now, Kenny Pickett is still, even though he is getting more and more comfortable by the week and he's starting to go through his second, third, fourth reads, I think when he gets to that third read, he's very comfortable throwing to Pat Freiermuth, which is fine. I think Freiermuth's their second best receiving weapon and maybe their second best overall offensive weapon in terms of what he can bring to the table. But they need to start becoming a team that gets down the field more regularly in the passing game and more successfully. And right now they're not doing that. And we know George Pickens is good when he does go down the field. I think they're looking too short to Deontay Johnson, hoping he'll make big run after the catch plays, and in the process kind of tying one hand behind their back with Pickens.
One criticism I have of George Pickens, I didn't really mind what he did. I understand being frustrated. I don't blame him. One criticism I had was if you heard that interview and the excerpts of it where he blames the media. Now, it's not so much the media. It's all social media, but I feel like it's just so muddied right now of where that line is that it's not us.
I think he's taken cues from the head coach, who yesterday in his press conference made sure to say that he thought it was basically kind of a BS narrative out there that was being pushed, even though the media at that point, I don't think there had been one person in the media like really castigating George Pickens. If anything, I think he was getting it on social media from like regular old Steelers fans, which Mike Tomlin should know is par for the course. I don't think there is a media narrative out there going after Pickens 2 days after that game, maybe now after he talked, but I think he was taking some of his cues from Mike Tomlin, who seemed to say, you know, that the media are the ones who think that this is a big deal. He laughs at that. It's BS, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, the player is just parroting the head coach there.
Yeah, I think the one thing Pickens has to realize that there are people like us, and I think that want to see him get the ball more. I think it's almost the exact opposite. All right, we got to take a break. Back with your phone calls, some of your tweets coming up next. Stay right there.